What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is my custom Sasuke Uchiha mechanical keyboard. Really quick before we get into my design choices here, if you could just be sure to hit that like button and that sub button if you enjoyed the video and think the keyboard is cool. Both of those really help me out. Also, all the components that I use for this build will be linked in the description down below so that you can pick them up for yourself. One last thing before we get started, I just need to issue a spoiler warning for Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I know it's been out forever, but there are people out there who haven't seen it yet, so spoiler alert, consider yourself warned. First up, I want to go ahead and talk about these keycaps. So I went with this gray and purple combination. I definitely thought about going with black and red. However, I thought that was the too straightforward of an answer. And I definitely didn't want to do that like specifically Sasuke, like literally Sasuke themed keycap set. I saw it on eBay and I've seen it on some other keyboards. I didn't want to do that because honestly that takes all the fun out of designing a keyboard anyways. So I went with these purple and gray ones from Millennial Engineers. So I went with purple because purple is a big part of Sasuke's just total vibe, I guess is the right way to put it, especially in Naruto Shippuden. He wears that purple kind of belt thing on his Orochimaru robes, and then he also has his purple Rinnegan and his purple Susanoo from later in the show, so I felt like purple was a very good choice for these keycaps. I think that gray is also a really good pick here because gray goes really well with his purple, and it's also in his outfit in both Naruto Shippuden and in Boruto. For the lighting, I went with this kind of light blue color. It really reminded me a lot of lightning, which lightning is also a pretty big part of Sasuke's character. He has his Chidori and other lightning style techniques, so I felt like kind of channeling that lightning for the lighting was probably the safest bet. And then on the escape key, we see a custom Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan. It's a really cool keycap. It was like $35 on Amazon, but I kind of think it's money well spent. It is super cool. And then on the side of this keycap, we also see an Akatsuki flag. Sasuke obviously has some ties to that organization as well, so it's a very cool touch. The keycaps themselves are shine through PBT, and they're honestly kind of disappointing quality. The color looks really good. The matte texture on the keycaps also feels really good, but they have some jagged edges, and there's also some quality assurance issues happening that I'll talk about later. But right now, I want to get on to the rest of my design choices on this keyboard. For the switch on this keyboard, I went with Gateron Optical Speed Silvers. I knew right from the beginning that I wanted a Speed Silver switch. That's like the most Sasuke switch that I can possibly think of, because A, he uses his silver sword in Naruto Shippuden and Boruto, and B, when you think about a speed silver switch, they are one of the fastest and most lethal switches on the market for gamers, so it really felt like the most appropriate option for Sasuke. Now, I did get Gateron Optical Speed Silver switches instead of Cherry Speed Silver switches. I'll explain why in just a little bit here, but before I do any of that, we're going to go ahead and hear a sound test for these switches. These are a really nice and really smooth mechanical switch. They're an optical switch, so their internals are super simple, which means that they are not really scratchy at all because there's not really much for them to rub up against. And they're just a good quality switch. I've always liked Gateron optical switches, and these are really no different. I think that these are a very, very nice linear switch, and they're unlubed too, and they're already super smooth, so I don't even think lubing them is entirely necessary. Alright, so for the PCB, I went with a GK61, which is probably not surprising to any of you if you've seen my videos before, because you know that I love that board. So, I initially was going to get just a plain GK61 PCB for I think $55 on eBay. Then I went on Amazon and I saw that for $70 I could get the PCB and the switches, except it would be an optical PCB and the Gateron optical switches instead of regular ones for about $70. So instead of spending probably $20 to $25 to $30 on the switches, and then possibly taking a while to get here as well because I wasn't sure about shipping, I decided to just get the pre-built GK61 with the optical speed silvers and the optical PCB. Save myself a little bit of money there, here and there, because I am building these keyboards on a budget. I apologize. I promise you, as the channel grows, the builds will get a little more extravagant, but for now, we're kind of balling on a budget. Okay. We need to talk about these keycaps. Again, they were $25 and I got them from millennialengineers.com. First off, there was one option for shipping. It was free and the expected delivery time was 12 to 35 business days after they shipped. So that is ranging between just over 2 weeks and a month and a half for shipping. I would gladly have paid anything in like the $5 to $10 range to get faster shipping. Like, I don't need it to be free. I'm fine paying $5 to $10 for like a week of shipping. Anything is better than this 35 business day window. That is kind of ridiculous. I ended up getting them after about 3 weeks, I think, and to top it all off, 2 of the keycaps, my left shift key, I believe, and my alt key, were both gravely injured in shipping. They were smashed in and unusable. Probably because the keycaps came in a plastic box that was basically falling apart inside of a cardboard box that was almost not even big enough to fit. I did get replacement keycaps for these, but it did take them about a week to get back to my email and about 2.5 weeks for the keycaps to arrive. So all in all, that ended up costing me about a month. I actually meant to get this video out a month ago, but I was waiting on the keycaps. Additionally, when I went to install all of the keycaps on the board after I got my replacement keycaps, I noticed that the slot where the stem goes in on my C key was warped and partially closed shut, so the keycap would not go on. Thankfully, I was able to save it using a screwdriver tip because I didn't want to have to wait another month to get this video out by getting a replacement keycap. And then, this morning, when I was finishing up the edits to the script for this video, I noticed that the 7 key also was slightly bent. All in all, I am incredibly disappointed in the quality of these keycaps. I understand that things happen in shipping, like the alt key and the shift key and the 7 key, but it's just bad quality assurance what happened to the C key. These keycaps are not worth $25, nor are they worth the 12 to 35 business day wait. I can safely say that I will not be using this company again. I really don't want all of that to sound too harsh, like I'm not trying to be a jerk to this company or anything, but as a consumer and as someone who has, I think, 2.5K subs right now, I feel like it is really my duty to give you the honest picture of what it was like to buy these keycaps, and that's what it was. It was incredibly disappointing. So, if you still want to buy these keycaps, you at least now know what you were getting yourself into. You know to thoroughly inspect the keycaps once they arrive. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say here. We're just gonna move on. I apologize to kind of end the video on a bummer, but that's gonna go ahead and do it for me today, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the keyboard, please be sure to hit that like button and that sub button. Both of those really help me out. And if there are any other custom themed keyboards that you want to see, please feel free to drop comments down below or come into my stream. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes on the weekends at noon West Coast time. I'd love to hear about some more anime character suggestions, movie characters, video game characters, just general themes that I could go after. I really enjoyed doing this build, and I really want to do some more of these, so feel free to drop some suggestions. Alright, well thank you everybody very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!
Knocked one. Knocked two. I got him.